I'm Stacey J and this is my studio, and welcome to my Monday. It is almost lunchtime. Don't ask me what I've done today because the answer would be nothing. Okay, so I have been asked if I would make the Posie Knit top from Stylark. Okay, I'll put a picture here of it. I will also show you the envelope. It's the printout from that. I have not printed out my envelope titles pictures yet, but I'll actually open up them. Okay, so it's it basically is an easy pattern. Okay. That. Sorry about the noises. Okay, so it's a easy pattern. Based is an easy pattern. I have just somebody who's quite new at sewing is stumped. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to trace out the size 20. The size 20 is giving the girth around the girls to 117. It's with a stretch knit, so I'm quite happy with 117 considering my bust is 115. So I'm happy with that. It's a crew neck and it has a little flouncy on the sleeves, makes it all girly, and it has a little gusset under the arms. Okay, and I think that's where the little bit of confusion's got on. Basically the pattern instructions are words and then lines, okay, but I can understand them, so I'm going to trace out that pattern and I'm going to get back to you, and we're going to whip this up today so that I can pop that on and the sew along can happen for anyone that is quite new to sewing. It is quite the cute wee girly top. So yeah, what does it say? Hang on, let me read what it's about. Get your spring style sorted. Yeah, it's autumn here. This top features a flounced sleeve which is cleverly set into the side panelled design lines, giving the style a feminine and easy feel fit. Wear it with jeans on the weekend or team it with a pencil skirt for a work week. Jersey knit or baby wool. Oh, I don't know what the baby wool is. Okay, so I am going to make the size 20, so like I said, I'll trace this out and get back to you. Awesome. So I'm back. I will put in, I'll actually comment. No, I'm going to put in what I just had to do before I could fit, and I lost one of my lenses and I went and got that fixed too, but I'm just going to put in what I was doing instead of fixing this blouse or making this blouse. After a while helping Mr. Christopher out, I am going to get my back piece, which is you know what? Didn't even write that it was the back. Lucky I know that it's not the front. I think I might write on those, eh? How terrible is that? So I'm going to write back and I'm going to write front. Remember how I told you always put all your annotations on there. Side. I don't side size. Okay, I did write on these and I did write on the sleeve. Is that correct? Frill. Flounce. Okay, so I've done that. Now this is the fabric I've selected. Let's go off the colour that we were talking about yesterday. Okay, oops, hang on, that's not what I want to turn. I'll turn this and just tip it down. So although it's not red, it's burgundy, okay, or maroon. Mighty maroons. Okay, so I'll pull that aside. There's the other sleeve. And I'm going to cut this out. I'll turn you down to here. Right, that's, oh my gosh, that's balanced. Right, so here's my centre back. Okay, it's the centre back we cut, not the side. So we want to keep and maintain the side. So we've got 1 centimetre seam allowance. So let's do our little scummy. So what I did was I measured down my back, got to the point where my dippy starts happening. Okay, where it sucky is in at my back. 1 centimetre seam allowance. We'll go to there. If you want to double check that it's 1 centimetre seam allowance, it's not 1 centimetre seam allowance. Maybe because it's a thing I'm going to drop it out a bit more to 1/2 centimetre seam allowance. We just want to make sure we do the hinge. Okay, that's why we're doing that. And as it's not fabric as such, I'm going to use my paper scissors. These are my awesome paper scissors. Paper scissors that cost a fortune. They were like $4 from Kmart, and it came with a little pair as well. And I love them. They are the best paper scissors ever. And considering I have a few. Right, now I'm just going to get a bit more of this white cloth. The reason I don't normally use this white cloth is because I like the sellotape to make sure it sticks down, but I'm going to use this white cloth today. Right, so I'm going to slip her under there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to maintain the top. So the top isn't moving at all. Okay, the top is staying the same. I should take about 4 centimetres off my sway. I'm going to take 3.5, because remember I don't want to seam down the back, so that's why I'm doing it so like this, because normally I just do a seam and add my 1.5, but I don't want to seam down the back, so I'm going to merge that to there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is put it out the 3.5 centimeters out here, because I lose hippage by doing that. But I'm not changing the actual width, the length of the bottom, because that's where we don't need it, because there's nothing for it to cover. Like when you go over your bust, you need to actually add fabric because it lifts it up. When there's nothing in there, you don't need to add the fabric, you need to kind of like subtract the fabric. Okay, so that's there. And we're going to come down the side there. Hopefully it's as clear as mud. And we're going to take off, going straight down. And that should actually equal up to what I've added on the side. It doesn't, so I'm going to make this a little less. So I have gone down straight and I'm taking off 2.5. So I'm adding 2.5 onto here. So it wasn't much different. I only went to 3. Okay. And nice and straight, because that is actually a straight. It goes down straight. So, and I'll take it down to there. Okay, so my new piece should be cut around here, cut down that line, cut down the base, and cut up there. And what that done is has divoted that spine, because I've pushed that back out. This is how I showed you how I did it on the Francesca, because I have no thingo down my Francesca, and I'm wearing a off the shelf, off the rack man shirt, which means there's no hips. There's no leeway, there's no give, there's no nothing. And it just sticks out like a balloon from my back. Okay, so I'm going to cut around here. If you want to see a more structured way of me doing a no seam sway back alteration, jump into the Francesca. I'll try and endeavour to remember to find it for you. Okay, so that's taken that out, and then I'm just going to fold this back in line with that. Actually, I lie. I'm going to cut that off because I don't want it. Okay. And the pins are holding that nicely in place, so I can put that on the fold. You see how it's shorter here, and it actually looks like it's on the drunk. Okay, it's fallen down there. Okay, because I don't need as much fabric here because there's like nothing to cover. It goes in, not out. I will actually line up the fold line. I haven't cut it off, but I will line up that fold line. Okay, so don't sweat that. Right, so that's how I did my quick fast sway back. Quick slow. And now I'm going to lay my pattern pieces. Okay, you can see here, I've just fluffed around with the pattern pieces. I need 2 of these so they both fit either way. I've dropped this down a bit because it was kind of hitting on that, and the sleeve can sit in the middle. So I've done a wider one, so this can sit good there, and then I've got the back facing the reverse side of the pattern, doesn't matter. I'm going to have this because it goes one, so underneath this I can cut one of those, or actually if I halve it like that, I can actually stick it on either side to be one, because that's the neck facing. Okay, so these are the 2 sleeve flounces, and these get stuck here on the fold. Okay, so that's obviously, sorry, it's not obvious, but that goes to the armhole. Okay, and that is neatened to be out this part. Right, I need 2 of those because they are going to go onto this, and they are going to neaten the edge of that. So that's the bias for this one here. If you have a look here, I can flip this over. I'm special. So special. And that sits there nicely. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, let's get her pinning. It's there now, might as well just leave it there. So that's how I want it all. So I'm going to pin it and cut it out. And what I actually think I will definitely do is have this one in half, and then I can open it and do the any notches that I want it to be. Now this is the outside of the fabric. Okay, I'm looking for my pin cushion. Can anyone see it? Found it. Stop looking. This is the outside of the fabric, so I will endeavour to mark that. Actually, don't know why I'm doing that like that. I'm going to put that there. Ooh, that's sort of buckled it. This is the thing I find with knits, is the pinning. Okay, so down and up, down and up, down and up, Stacey, down and up, Stacey. Horrible pin. You should see me when I'm doing fleece. Right. Okay, so that's going to go up there, and what I want to do is get a bit of chalk. He's here, sitting here waiting patiently for me to use. I'm just going to do a little mark under this. Okay, so that mark's going to be on the wrong side. Bit of a mark under this. It is knit. Sometimes has a mind of its own. I have no idea where I got this fabric from. I've got about 5.5 meters of it. I've put it in my new little trusty here's your fabric stash thing, and yeah, and I'm going to say that it took, well, it's calling for 1.5 meters. Right, I'm using 1.4 meter, well, not 1.4, 1.04 meters. So, you know, so when it says to neaten the edge, you could possibly do it on a cover stitch machine, or just do a little roll, or even if you wanted to, you could do a lettuce leaf effect. Oops, don't blow that, Stacey. I will measure that from that. You know how I do that. So the top of that fabric, where I've got it there, to just on this, yep, 105. There you go. Or if you want me to be technical, because I can, it's just under 41.5 inches. So there you go. I'm going to pin it and cut it. I should just put a green board under it and slice it all up. So what I've done so far is I've just pinned the front and backs, right sides together. Okay, so I will look at the directions, but what I want to do is, obviously I can't put the insert in before I put the sleeve on, okay, because they wedge together, and you've got to put the cap on that, and I think that's one of the first things it tells you to do, but this will be neither here nor there. So by sewing the hobbit. So basically it's telling you to start by sewing this onto the sleeves. But in the meantime, no harm, no foul in pinning my shoulders together, right sides together. Okay, and of course nothing's going to be at the side, and I've got the marks there for where the insert goes. But what I like to do before inserts and things get all clogged up, I want to, so that, not saying to do it here like this, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to add the binding to the neckline. Okay, so it's flat, and you can work with a flat surface rather than a tube. Okay, so that's what we've got so far, and unfortunately I'll have to come back tomorrow due to hot water cylinders being put up in the ceiling to be done by Mr. Christopher. And a huge congratulations to my brother, who doesn't watch this anyway, because he has just won the race. Yay. Whew. Anyway, I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to catch up with you guys tomorrow to finish this off. Cool, and then I'll get it uploaded. Fantastic. Thanks. So I'm back, and it's today, which is Tuesday. Now I am just folding this up. I've got a change on my project thing on my backstitch app, that I only took 1 meter off this, so that it leaves the balance of 4.5 meters sitting in my stock. It's that cool. It's a bit staticky, this. So I got to the part yesterday where I wanted to pin the fronts together. I've changed my needle on my sewing machine to a stitch needle, because that made sense, Stacey, to a stretch knit or ballpoint or whatever I called it. I'm on an industrial sewing machine, so it's a special code that they use. So I'm just folding this up nicely, otherwise, you know, I get piles of stuff. Like I've got 2 jumpers. I've got a jumper and a jacket sitting on the Shea Lounge, because apparently that's my new coat hanger, and it's when I get warm in here and I take it off. So, and I'm like going, oh, got to put that stuff away. Okay, so I've got the pattern here. So the first thing I'm going to do, so I've changed the thread to a really bright heinous that stretch thread, Maraflex thread over here on the sewing machine. You can see it red right there. Okay, that's it. Right, so the bobbin's underneath. Oh no, it's not, it's still sitting on top of the sewing machine right there. And I have changed to a maroon on the overlocking of the item. I normally just overlock. I've got the Maraflex there for just in cases. Like, I think I will be using the Maraflex. Ooh, I don't think I will be. So I might be changing that all out, but leaving the stretch needle obviously in. I'm going to overlock this now, my shoulders, so I've got the right sides together. So although this is not step 1 in the actual instruction sheetlet on the thingo, the step 1 is actually saying sew the armhole facing on the armholes. I'm going to do step 2 and step 3 first. Okay, mainly because I want to, and I probably should do it in order sequence for you guys, but I usually start with the shoulders. It's usually one of the first places I go with a blouse. Speaking of shoulders, this top is was what I converted. It was definitely not like that. It's a big 4. I'll just have a quick, I don't think I have it up here because I didn't like it for what I used it for, and I since bought something else. It had a high collar neck, and I stripped it back, basically spun it around and turned it into that V. That should have been deeper. It's not deep enough. It's still very blocky on me. With the girls being so big, the more flesh you actually show, the actual less blocky you are from this area here. But anyway, what I do want, what I was basing this on was actually the Anita peasant blouse from Stylark, which I know a few people have got, and it was the freebie for last month if you bought a PDF patterns. That's probably the bonus. You know what, there's a lot of talk about, you know, I bought this as a PDF and then I had to go and pay for this to get this and this to get this. If you buy PDFs, they give you the free pattern, so that's like a $26 saving, depending on what the pattern is. $26 saving right then. It's, yeah, I think it'd be much of a muchness. I've found a place now where it costs only $6.50 to get my stuff printed. And you know how I said it wasn't printed in colour? Well, they did this one, and this one's printed in colour, which maybe the actual pattern that I first looked at wasn't done in colour itself from the day dot, if that makes sense. I'm going to stop saying that because I hate that. Right, I'm going to go and overlock the shoulders, which, yes, I have attached the overlocking thread, but I don't think I pulled it through to make it all good to go. So I will do that now and take you with me. Overlocking those armholes, the shoulder seams, and the colour is just like this obscenely awesome match. Okay, so I am not going to use the Maraflex because I will not be doing a safety stitch on this. Got a nice stretch to it still, so that's all good. I am going to now take my neck facing, do we call it facing, Stacey? Neck band, neck stuff. Okay, I'm going to open it up now down one end of this. Remember how I fold it in half and put it on the fold, because it was just less irritating than waiting and cutting it singular. Down on the pattern, it's got those 3 lines. That means that goes into the center, that goes into the center. So the thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to iron that and use my clapper. Okay, and I'm going to press it. I just had to make sure I knew which side. The shiny side's going not there. So I'm going to fold those into the center and that is going to become my fold for the neckband. So I'm going to go over and do that. I'll show you how I use the clapper. If you're new to the clapper, I'm sorry if you're not and you think I'm telling you to suck eggs. I'm not. You know, I just want to do this basically so that all can learn how to do things. Oh, that's really up close and personal with my face. Oops, banging things here, guys. Sorry. Right. Now, for those that don't know, this is a clapper. It's got turning points as well. Okay, really good for collars and inside small seams. I quite like this one. I love this one actually. My father made it for me. It fell and I had to glue it back together because he couldn't fix it for me because he can't. So I'm going to iron that. Remember, the shiny side is the side that's inside and that's the side that's the right side. And I'm going to take this and iron it. So I'll just do a quick bit. Shiny side up. It's tricky little sucker stuff, this one. So I'm going to go into there. This is where the clapper is really good. Now clapper, is when you get the little piece of wood here and you hold it down and it takes out the moisture and it gives you that nice crease that you can use. Right, it's very hard to see on this one. I thought you guys were up behind. See the little crease there? So I'm going to go along. Now let me tell you, you don't need to go out and buy yourself a great big fancy Nancy. Okay, a little 4x2 piece of wood, soft wood would be good. What they say hardwood, because all it has to do is soak the moisture up from steaming. Now the way we iron is it's based around steam. Okay, it's not how hot the iron is. My iron should be on 3 unless my son has been playing with it and ironing his shirt because he doesn't know how to use this one, but this is the easiest and it's always here, an ability to turn on. So I have it on 3 and the steam does the work. It's the really good one actually. I think Maisie just went out and purchased herself one of these. Really good if you've got a hook inside the house to do your other house ironing, because it's so filled with water that you don't have to refill it, and I'm a steamer. Now just see how I'm just bouncing up and down. I'm not dragging. It's like when you do interfacing. Okay, this can easily be stretched out if you don't do it right. So I've got it all across. Oh, this is going to be little suckers hard. So I'll put that on here and use that. Now the good thing about these irons is, unlike other irons where you turn it up to like whatever temp you want, this takes a lot. Like I can put my hand, I'll just move it over here, put my hand here. No, right, now you watch the difference. It's a lot hotter. Okay, so the heat without steam is not as bad. So I am down the other end now. Excuse me. It's doing itself a little roll anyway because it is a knit fabric, but we just don't want to roll it too much. Okay, with these irons too, you don't hold on and just keep the steam coming out or flood like your I dropped this iron. I think I've yeah, I should have got my brother to look at it when he was here. You don't hold it and let the water just pour out, because it will flood like it does a car when you keep pumping on that seat. That's not what you do. Okay, what not to do. I'm going to soak up some of that water. That will really crisp it because it's super wet. That's funny. It's not funny. Okay, you don't want that to happen, because if there's stuff inside your iron, it's going to be gross. Which reminds me, I'll just get rid of this water off here, I think. So I've got a little trusty silicone pad. It's a bit warm under the underside. Let's just see, a little silicone pad, and that's what I have it on the wood. I'm just going to take this off. So the best thing about me is not to show you what not to do. And that was a not to do. See that? It was so long. Boom, boom. Right, so that's one side done. Let's curl around the other side. I'll try and use less water this time, eh? So basically we're making a bias binding. See how you just push it until it stops steaming? That's what you're meant to do. But it wasn't coming out at all. And it's sort of stuffed up since I dropped it. Don't tell Chris. He hasn't been watching my vlog, so it's okay. He won't know. Okay, and that will do that. So what that's going to do is go around the neck, and that's already pre-done. You can get a little squash, get all of that all fluid out of there, and that will hold it nice and tight into its crease. But while I'm here, I'll do the sleeve. So I'm going to read to you about adding the neck binding. What it says. With right side facing, sew the front and back shoulder seams together. Check. Done. Right. With wrong sides facing, sew the two short ends of the inside neck bands together. With the right side on the outer fold, the bind in half lengthwise. With the right sides facing, sew the binding to the neck and stitch down with a top stitch along the folded edge. Refer to diagram. Alright, if you're new to sewing, understand why you stopped. Right, so I'm going to tell you how I would do it. The dog has found a spot. Right, so I'm going to take my right sides together. Right, and I'm going to sew my 1/2 centimetre seam allowance. Now why I don't do this on the overlocker is because it's going to be inside the bind. Also it can sit flatter. Willow, enough. So I'm just going to do that. Check me out. Okay, nice and done. So the next, what I'm going to do is I am going to open that, and I believe they've started the seam on the shoulder. So with right sides facing, I'm just going to trim that off. Don't need that length of thread. With right sides facing, I'm going to put that here on the shoulder, so it goes all the way through, so the seam is all followed through with that. Dog is a little bit mental. Shoulder seam, it's there, right. Just got to go a bit more up. Have I got you on me? Yes, right, that's cool. Now don't forget, when I've said you do the junctions like this, we want that flat, okay, because that's going to be flattest inside the roll. You got to go with inside the seam allowance of what you're doing, and our current seam allowance is half a centimetre. Oh. Okay, there comes a time when the nails are too long. And fiddly little things like this. She hates cutting my nails. She likes it when I say, no, you can leave them that length. And freaks her out to cut it. Right, so there. So what you want to do is you basically want to halve and quarter your neck facing. So by rights, this should be over on the other shoulder. I'm lying, that's not what you want to do. Yet if you're doing front and back, you want to do that. Right, other shoulder's there. Okay, so there's a bit of a stretch in the back and more of a stretch in the front. So you want your stretch to be more to the side of the front. I'm going to move this and put it with a little bit of stretch here. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. I'll find that half again, Stacey. Right. And I want to put that here. And it's about now that I like to put the seam to the back. So that's the back, so I like to make the seam go to the back. And I'll stick the pin this side of the seam. That's a little reminder to push it that way. Okay, take it there, gently centerize it. Then I take the center of the front, which is approximately there. And now I'll pin around the neck. I'll take the center of the neck front, which is shoulder to shoulder. Yep. Meet these two together, make sure I'm doing the right side up. Okay, and I'll pin so I can do like center that. You have more stretch in the front because it's got to go around that little, so most of your neckline should be more of a stretch in the front. Don't forget, you don't want to stretch your actual neckline, you want to stretch the bias or the ribbing, whichever you're using at the time, to the fabric, not the main part. Okay, so I'll keep doing that and I shall see you on the other side. Right, now we're just sewing around 1 centimetre seam allowance. Sorry, I lie, 1/2 centimetre seam allowance. We're putting the binding on the neck. Just when you come up to it all. You just make sure that the two are together. Okay, we've got it pinned so that the stretch is at what we want it to stretch at, because the binding should just have that little bit of stretch. Okay, the back less stretch. It's more the front that we do, more the sides of the front more than anything is what the preferred method is. And we're just going to go around nice and slowly. Just sort of chuck in my number plate while I was there. Okay, because it's going to fold over, it's going to make a nice little band. So I don't know why it said wrong sides together, because I've tucked my wrong sides here and it's right sides. Well, that doesn't even match, does it? That was good planning, Stacey. Right. By rights, I would normally undo that, and I might before I get to it to make that happen. Right, now here I've got the pin this side of the shoulder, so that means I want the shoulder to face in. That's a little bit high, so I want the shoulder seam to go that way, in towards the back. Now there's no seam to match here, so you don't need that pin to roll over. Okay, there's a little bit of stretch now that we're coming to the front, so maintain that little bit of stretch with the binding only, not with the neckline. So don't pull. Don't see how that's buckled. Okay, we're going to only pull the bottom until that lays flat, and that's what our name of the game is to do. Otherwise you have a stretched neckline and you'll never will you ever be happy when you wear it. If you wear it, it'll become one of those items in the closet that just doesn't come out. Then you'd have to wait till next May, where you do the Me Made May, and wonder why you never wore it, and then you'll bin it. Am I right or am I right? I have no idea actually. I've never done a Me Made May, but that's the gist of what I think is. You got stuff in your wardrobe, you decide what you're gonna keep and what you're going to get rid of. Right now, remember, I wasn't happy with the seam on my shoulder, so I am going to actually unpick it once I get to there. Okay, no race, no one's watching, no one's timing. I hope no one's timing me. Actually, I don't care if you are. I'd rather have my little neckline because it's on show. Your neckline's on show, so you want to have it nice and sit nice. I've got a couple of shirts that I've really, for a long time, I think a lot since I started vlogging. Now I'm actually going to sew around and ditch stitch all of this neckline. I'll start at the seam that's on the shoulder. Okay. Now it's the time to get our other band sewn on like this one. Right sides together. That's the wrong side. That's the right side. So I've got my trusty here. The side I've got folded for sure is the side I'm not sewing on right now, because obviously I've got a foot that's going to help guide me. So I'll pin one corner up. I pin the other corner up, because again this band's slightly smaller than the actual cut of the armhole, so there will be a slight stretch to this. Then I just do my own maths, about centre, line them up, pin those, and if you want to, again, if you're new at the game, find the centre or stretch it out to get the centre. Now don't forget, you're only stretching the band, not the armhole. Put a pin there if you want. Other side, pull it out, pin there if you want. Take your half a centimetre seam allowance, which is just perfect for the width of my foot. Nice, easy, cheap way for me. And I'm just going to have that tightness. I've got the actual band facing up. That way I can see that I can stop it when it is tight. And I can move it down so it's at the top of the armhole. Take that pin out. Get to the next pin, which is of course your next margin of where the stretch starts again. Pin it. And then one more stretch out, line that up, and we're up to the last stretch. Get it? Right. Ooh, that did not cut. Naughty. I'm just going to go under that. No, I'm not. It did go to the end, right? So again, we're going to take it. It's going to fold over there. It's really quite good when you've ironed it properly, and fold it down to there. Okay, so it's going to be nice and easy. So you can find the center there. And it's going to the bottom there. Okay, I'll keep doing this and I'll see you when I'm about to sew it again and ditch stitch it. Or I can do it all. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pin this and then ditch stitch it all across like I did the neckline. Both arms are done. Just get rid of that little lip there. There we go. Now, if I have got it right, which God knows I hope I have, they're both exactly the same. Okay, so armhole is the same. I'm going to just go press them quickly, and the next step we will be doing is putting, and we'll be tidying up the flounce. So I'll put these aside after I iron them. What I did do was, didn't hit record. So I've just unpinned my sleeve. I was just speaking about how I was going to finish it off. There's a few ways you can finish it off. You could just put a, that's how it's going to sit over your little, well, over your shoulder like that. Very girly, eh? You're going to, could overlock it. You could do a little rolled hem on your sewing machine. You could use the cover stitch machine. I'm just pointing because that's where mine are. No good putting a bias on it. because it's I think it'll be too heavy. It will not let it drape. Okay, and this is such a pretty drapey fabric. That's inside out, that's in the right way. So it'll sit on your shoulder like this, and hopefully be more girly flouncy than that's proving to be. Okay, so you want to do the outside, so this big long curve, because that's the part that hits your arm. Right, so I'm going to go and overlock mine. That's what I think I'm going to do. I'll see how it is, and I'll show you how it is, and whether you like it and you want to do it as well, or you want to come up with another method. The world is your oyster. It would seem that I don't like the overlock look. So I have ironed it flat, okay, and I am going to sew around it with a nice little top stitch. There's a thumping noise going on in the background here. No idea what it is, and it is scaring Mabel. So Mabel is doing her anxiety. So this is fun for me when she does this. So I'm going to sew that around and get back to you when I've finished doing that. Next stage is to attach your arm flounces to your back and front. So I'm going to move out. There's my arm flounce. That's a underarm. Right, arm flounces. Now you've got notches in your front and back. Okay, you should have two sets of notches. One's there, one's up there. That's the back, and then you've got the front, one there and one down there. So the bottom of your flounce, right side's facing. Right side, Stacey, facing. Take the bottom notch, which there's my two notches, you can see them both. One, you can see them both. Can you see them both? That one's there. Oh yeah, that's not, there it is, right. So I'm going to take the bottom notch and I'm going to put the edge of the flounce in line with the tip. Okay. Okay, I will go on there, and I'll get my other notch. Actually, I'm going to get a pin and do the center. Pin there, because that is going to the center, which is my shoulder seam. Don't forget, I like to have my shoulder seam going to the back, so I'm going to pin it. Oh, let's put you down. I'm going to pin it this side of, that's the dog, that's Mabel. She's hiding around the corner near the toilet, near the ablutions. Right, the other notch is for when we put the body in. I'm just going to put another, so I'm just going to make sure it's like even. Okay, I'm going to go to the back, get to the bottom notch, which is there. It's there, you can see it on the there. Well, I hope you can see it there. And take the bottom of this, line it up with that. Okay, I had a little bit of hiccup with my overlocker eating the heck out of my thing out. Oh, what's it called? Flounce. And then I'm going to center this. Okay, and that's the front. So put that straight there. Maybe a little stretch. That's my mum. I'm actually just going to take the munted part past. We've got a bit to play with, so munted bit past and start from here. And reconfigure this. Nice, that sits nicely in there. Okay, lay that out of the way because I can't pick it up right now. And so that's how it's going to be sewn on there. And then I'm going to get the other one. Don't forget to mark the center of it. Now this one I didn't munt up. Don't know why the machine just didn't like that little triangle that came in. So it just went yum num 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 num. Right. So there's my bottom one, there's my next one. So I want my right side of this side, and this would be the, oh goodness, back. So line that up with that. Right side's facing. Now right sides are facing. I'm glad I reminded you about that. I reminded myself about it. Center goes to the shoulder seam. And we want that to go back, so pin to the left of that seam. And then we then centerize this and make it all nice and even. I kind of want to stick in the sides before sides as well. I'm just going to check, see when it's telling you to do that. It wants you to sew them separately. I will sew them separately because it's saying that in the instructions. And I'll pull that a bit forward because I pulled the other one forward. And straighten this out. This is the front, so it's a little bit bigger. Pull up there, sits beautifully in there. So I'm going to go and sew this in and then come back and we'll do the next stage. I'm only doing the next stage next because I want to show what the instructions are saying, except for that one freaky part that freaked me out. Right, I'm going to go and sew this and I'll be back. So I'm sewing down there, I'll make sure that my fronts and my backs actually do fall in the same place because I remember I've moved it myself. There. Yep, nice. Okay, I'm going to go sew that. I'll be back in a second. Well, here we are so far. This is the sleeve is on. I should iron that down. And then the next part is we're basically going to pop this into here. Okay, and I'll sit up there. And then you've got your armhole under there. That will sit with the second notch near the top. And then you'll hem it. So that will be your armhole. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. I think so. I think it's looking pretty good. Good. This mannequin is too small for the size I have made, but it is sitting quite nicely. Quite nice. Because I'm the size I made, so it sit on this mannequin. Fuller. More full. So I'm going to now pin this part to my, move over there, Manny Wanny, to sandwich it in to the next stage, which is, this is how we're going to do it. Right. There's our side seams. Right. And there it is, right sides together, right side up. So the frill, the flounce, must face towards the neckline. You get your that thing. You find the notch here, the first notch towards the bottom. You're going to put a pin in it. Now your face down, your sandwich of the flounce is actually upside down. You're going to get the second notch, which is there. Then you're going to pin down the bottom to the bottom, which should fit perfectly, which it does. Yeehaw, McGrath. Alright, then what we're going to do, now ready for this maneuver? Then what you're going to do, here's one side of it, here's your frill, here's your other side. There's your bottom notch, there's your top notch, and you're going to spin me right round, baby. There's your top notch, you're going to pin that there. There's your bottom notch, you're going to pin that there. Oh, right, sorry. Top notch, pin that there. Bottom notch, pin that there. And then real twist it around. Put that to the bottom because that is the bottom. And that's there. Now I'm going to overlock from this end, overlocking, 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 back to there, down to that side. Okay, so right now this is the side. I'm just going to pop another pin in there just because I really want you to see what I've done. Another pin there. So we have attached this right sides together. Oh, get that frill out. We do not want to eat part of that frill that isn't meant to be eaten. And you know your overlocker will do that. We've married up our top notch, we've married up our bottom notch, and we've married up the base of the. So we're going to overlocking all the way around. This is going into the shoulder, then all the way back around. Right, I'm going to do one side, then I'll come back and do the other side. side's attached now. There it is. Simple but true. Dog here. Don't know why that's there. And I am now going to attach the other side of the this thing. The other side, literally. Right sides together. Sandwich in the flounce. Okay, there's your top and your bottom notches. Top, bottom. Just going to trim that away. That's better. So my right side's facing the right side of the fabric, the wrong side of the flounce, because it's going to sandwich in to that. Just put a quick pin down the bottom. Put our notch and notch here. Our notch and end here. Make sure you don't ride that up. I just had it sort of sandwiched with a buckle behind it. You don't want that. Okay, and I'll put one more here. I think I put a couple more in there earlier, but you've seen how I twisted it in that. And we're going to take this, there's the other side there, pull it down, twist it. Top notch is there, so we want that there, lined up with the notch. Our bottom notch lined up with the notch. Here we are, right there. I'm going to trim that off. That's the munted area. That's the munted side where I mounted it. Make sure that your little flap is actually sitting nicely. See, if you pinned it, you can see where you could sandwich it all in one go if you wanted. That just goes with the territory of your confidence, especially jumping onto an overlocker. If you're doing this with Mariflex, good on you, then you can stay stitch it first. Okay, so I'm going to go over now. I've got my sides. Oh, that's what I did last time. I showed you the panel down the so there's the panel sitting flat on the two edges. And inside is ours, so we're going to we're going to overlock all the way around there. All right, I'll be back. So here we are. I have just filled up my iron, needed more water. That's why it had its hissy fit earlier today. We've got both sides there. I've ironed the sleeves, hold it, Stacey, and that's all sitting there. Okay. And I'm just gone and done a quick little roll around on the hem, and I'm going to throw it under the cover stitch machine, and I'm going to cover stitch the edge of that. All right. If you don't have a cover stitch machine, please feel free to overlock and twin needle it or double roll it and stitch it, especially if you're using Mariflex. But I have a cover stitch machine, and that's how I like to finish my edges or my hems on my stretch knit products. So I'm going to do that, and I will see you guys in a jiffy. that is my noisiest sewing machine. And that is the hemming done. So now I just need to press that, and that is the Posie Knit top from Stylark. Just like that. So I hope that's helped anyone in any way. I can, and possibly, I won't, I'm too lazy. I can trim off those little bits that shivers the other side of that stitching. But that's my blouse, and I have some people coming in a second to have a look at my dryer, so there is no way I'm going to strip down now and take a photo, but I will do that. I promise. I promise. Thanks, guys. So here it is, the little Posie Knit top. Not too bad. Wear it with a pair of jeans. Could you imagine at a barbecue, cookout, don't know what you guys call it, barbecue I call it, and a pair of jeans or a pair of jean shorts, like even like little capri pants, knickerbockers. Anyway, so that's it. The armhole, although you can see my singlet, my camisole under it, it's still higher than my bra. So if I wanted to, but yeah, it's not too big or gapey. And that sits around there. I actually have and done the whole change before those guys come to look at my... That's not too bad. Quite sweet and girly, you know. Yep, there you go. So thanks for joining me today in the Posie Knit top by Stylark, and hopefully you will love to sew along with it. It is quite pretty. I think next time, I think next time I'll actually shape the front and back. That will take in half of the side panels. Yeah, I'll think about that now that I've said it out loud. So, yep, that was a good, fun little make, and it is quite the cute little top, and I think it'd be fantastic for a nice summer's day, and to just bring out the pretty, I think. So, thanks for sewing along, guys. Stay well, stay warm, stay dry, keep cool, keep on sewing. Hydrate. I got my little cup here. Wait until you see what I got coming. And have no regrets. I really like that fabric. No regrets. Okay, thanks guys. See ya.